So there's literally 2 weeks until a DC U.S. attorney is appointed by the one person who absolutely hates Trump the most, Boasberg. And he has potentially thought about Jack Smith. Now, isn't it amazing that the president can't decide that? Oh, wait, the president did decide it. But guess what? The Senate is holding it up. 5 senators, Republican senators, are holding up this nomination. And it may surprise you what they said and what they're doing and why they're doing it. Again, is your Congress and Senate really working for you when they go against the president that's supposedly leading the party? We'll talk about that story. Also, did you see the protest taking place at the University of Washington? A few things that we should learn from this. First of all, that the movement of Antifa and riots are still happening, no matter who's president, because the states are allowing it to happen. Liberal states are allowing this to take place. Did you also notice police literally ran from them? What are we doing? Are we not training people to actually stand their ground and make sure that they're protecting the other people there? They let these rioters basically push them away, and now they are causing chaos in the city. And the government's just allowing it to happen because of these liberal agendas. You got to get out of these states, guys, because you're going to see this more and more. It's kind of like the snowball effect with the judges. One judge does one thing, and then all of a sudden all the judges start piling on. Same situation with this. You let this take place, every campus is going to look like this over the next coming few weeks. Also, we're going to talk about driverless trucks. What is the big deal with the 18-wheelers and the industry? Are you worried about this? Is it something that you should be fearful of because you're driving next to them? Think about all the people that will lose jobs. Let's dive into that story. And then lastly, RFK drops a big bombshell. Oh my gosh. It's amazing what he says. And sometimes I think he's like, I'm already canceled, who cares? I'm going to say what I want to say, especially since I'm in the administration. We'll talk about what RFK said about what he's learning, being the HHS secretary. Let's dive into these stories today. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. We appreciate you and we are humbled by your presence and you coming back each and every day to see what we have to say. It means the world to us. Let's jump into these stories today. I tell you what, it's a little sad because you see these things and all these things are happening. And what I think it proves is, as much as we want President Trump to do well, it's sad that most of his party, most of these cities and states, and a lot of the situations going on is things that is out of his power. It's supposed to be the help of the other parts of the government, and nothing is taking place. So let's start off with these 5 senators. So within 2 weeks, the spot for a gentleman who was a temporary hold, a temporary position was filled by President Trump and by the Republicans. His name is Ed Martin. Ed Martin is supposed to be appointed back to this location, but there's 5 senators, Republican senators, Rhino senators, that doesn't like Trump, that is standing against this appointment. Now, here's the big deal. If they don't appoint this guy, guess who does appoint this guy? Judge Boasberg, the same one that held up the planes and wanted to hold Trump in contempt, the one that is still actively fighting against the Trump administration to keep illegal gang members here. That judge. And he's already had word that he was going to hire a very liberal style U.S. attorney to probably target Trump. Even down to Jack Smith has been thrown into the mix. Now let's talk about these 5 senators, because again, these people are ripping you off and they're calling themselves a Republican. They're not a Republican. Please don't think they are. They are lying to you. And 2 or 3 of these are very conservative states. What are you doing? Susan Collins, of course, is pushing against Ed Martin's nomination, or confirmation. Tom Tillis is in a Republican state, people, very conservative state. What in the world are we allowing this guy to still be a senator? John Cornyn, again, Texas, conservative state supposedly. Bill Cassidy, what is that, Louisiana? I mean, that's again a conservative state. What are we doing? Mitch McConnell, Kentucky, what are we doing? These 5 people, these 5 Republicans are going to hold up Ed Martin's nomination because of they don't like his basis and what he did on J6. However, If they allow him not to be appointed, they're allowing somebody that's even more left, more loony, to actually appoint this position. You should be up in arms with these 5 Senate. They are absolutely trying to lead it themselves. A Breitbart report said Tillis is one of the main ones speaking out against him. He believes, now listen to this, his spokesman said this, he believes Judge Boasberg would choose someone more preferable. So he's saying he thinks a liberal judge who hates Trump, who is wanting gang members to be back here, a Republican Senate said he could pick better than Trump can. I mean, people, come on. What are we doing electing these people into office? Senator Tillis looks forward to meeting with Ed Martin, the spokesman said. Our understanding is that the Senate does not confirm the U.S. Attorney before acting on the U.S. Attorney's term expiring. So he's going to let the term expire just because of a formality. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, well, I guess he just needs to be appointed by a liberal judge. That's what I would say. Forget what Trump wants. Forget what conservative Republicans want. I'm going to go along with Mitch McConnell here and Susan Collins. This is absolutely unbelievable. If you don't pay attention to this, if you do not pay attention to these stories and get the Senate Congress out, you can say goodbye to America. And everybody's like, oh, that's harsh, Colby. Oh my gosh. These Congress and Senate are ruining America. They are. You can blame Biden, you can blame Obama, but the honest truth is the reason you're losing tax basis, the reason you're losing tax money, the reason that these people are not getting confirmed, the reason that we are allowing these judges to be activists is because our worthless, I can't say that enough, Senate and Congress. And don't say, oh, mine's doing a good job. Honestly, are they? Are they? I mean, Cornyn, Texas, been there a long time, and we keep putting him back in there. Cassidy, Louisiana, we keep putting him back in there. McConnell, I mean, you have Kentucky, a very conservative state, and we keep putting him back in there. What are we doing? It's unbelievable, people. It says, with this expiring, Bondi probably could not be the one to appoint and put in there without Judge Boasberg. And Judge Boasberg would be the one to put this attorney into the office. So a judge that somehow has these judges have special powers, I guess. And I guess because no one wants to be a man and actually stand up to them when it comes to Congress and Senate, they have unlimited power, I guess. They can overrule presidents, they can overrule attorney generals, they can overrule police and sheriffs, they can overrule other foreign governments. I mean, they're telling Venezuela and El Salvador, send those people back. You know, there's a story that came out that Maduro from Venezuela helped the gang get into America. But again, nobody talks about that. We allow this judge just to say, come on back, bring them back, bring them back. We want these people here. What are we doing? Why are we allowing these liberals and these rhinos to ruin America? If our forefathers could come back, they would probably, they would be very upset. You'd have another Paul Revere saying, the redcoats are coming, and you would have another uprising, because this is absolutely ridiculous. And that brings me right to the next point. University of Washington. What is happening there? Protest breaks out with Antifa. They're taking over the streets, going to and from University of Washington, Seattle, and police are literally allowing them to do what they want to do. Violent Trantifa and Antifa militants are hurling slurs and assaulting people in Portland State campus after being unable to storm the event that Riley Gaines was speaking out. Convicted felon was there along with violent Antifa members that were known crazy are there too. So we see, Washington, Oregon. Now it's going to keep on going probably. Again, Antifa are trying to burn down the UW campus as the occupation of the engineering building spirals out of control. The militants have effectively been given free reign because of the liberal leadership of the school along with the police department and mayor's office of the city. They are demanding the university end all relationships with Israel. Do you know? And so we're going to allow this university that probably gets taxpayer funding, that probably gets city and state funding, to let them burn down these buildings and just it's just a freedom of speech. Then at the same time, this campus will not allow for free speech for people like Riley Gaines or for people like Christians who want to speak and debate this whole situation with Antifa. You see, it's a double standard. So again, I go back and say this. Trump's doing great things. You keep letting this kind of pandemonium happen in the cities and nobody wants to actually stand up to these people, like the Congress is not standing up to the judges. What's going to happen is this is just going to be a common denominator that's going to keep on going. It says Antifa militants are pushing the cops back. The cops are literally running from them. The police in Seattle, the police in Portland are running from the rioters. Doesn't that make you feel special? So if you live in these big cities, who is going to watch out for you when they're actually letting these people burn and riot and tear down the streets and cause mischief? What are you in these cities? If you are, you better make sure that you have all the preps that we've talked about plenty of times, because it just proves that the police are not going to take care of you. They're literally allowing them to do it, and then they run for their lives. It literally looks like Gotham. I mean, I guess I need to get the bat signal out and see if we can send it up in Seattle and Portland, and hopefully Batman will come, because what is happening right now is a complete anarchy, and we're allowed to happen. If you don't get out of these cities and these college towns and these states that has this liberal push, your family will be in jeopardy. That's not me being funny. That's not me being facetious. That's not me being fear-mongerer. That's being honest. Look at the stories. Go back and read the stories. They're literally running. The cops are running. And then when they're not running, they're just standing there and letting them burn down the place. Remember, that's like your tax dollars just burning away, because your tax dollars have went to help fund that school, and they're just allowing it to burn down. And then they're going to take your money back to rebuild it. Isn't that unbelievable? Now let's talk about RFK. To me, this is probably the best story, but it's because it's exposing. Now the kicker is this. It's just like Trump and Doge and Elon. Everybody can expose, but if Bondi and these Congress and Senate don't do anything about it, what does it matter? It just helps embarrass the people, but nothing ever happens. Listen to what RFK just said. He said, Fauci hid bioweapons research behind the science with this. It says Fauci began essentially restarting the arms race and the bioweapons arms race, and did it under the pretension of developing these kind of injections to help people, because it was the same science that you develop bioweapons with. In 2014, three of his bugs escaped, and 300 scientists wrote a letter to Obama asking him to shut down Fauci. See, nobody talks about that, do they? President Obama declared a moratorium, but instead shutting down his experience. Guess where he moved it? So instead of Obama stopping Fauci, he allowed him to move his lab to... Isn't it funny how back in 2018, 2019, Fauci said Trump is going to face a pandemic. And the lab that got pushed out of the states because Obama did not stand up to Fauci. Fauci was doing bioweapons, and all of a sudden, he must be a prophet, because what he said came true. This is RFK speaking truth. Now, this is not him saying this is what happened and he just thinks in a hypothesis. This is the documents that show and prove he said, I'm finding, and the truth is coming out. It says the principal institutions of our government, CIA, FBI, State Department, Department, and the Department of Energy all say that most likely the experiment resulted in the cause of the pandemic. So the CIA, FBI, State Department, Department of Energy all said what happened when Obama pushed that lab, Fauci's bioweapon, actually became COVID. First, before we talk about other things dealing with what HHS exposed and RFK exposed, listen to this Vietnam American doctor. Dr. Anthony Phan, a Vietnamese American doctor, has stirred controversy with his claims that autism did not exist in Vietnam until the introduction of the program that Bill and Melinda Gates brought in with their foundation. According to Phan, the country has experienced a dramatic increase in autism cases, up 300% since the foundation brought these in to the people of Vietnam. That leads me right to what other things RFK's been talking about. Listen to these numbers. I want you to pay attention to this. Since 1990, the disease and disorders that increased since 1990. Now, all these things have increased. If you remember, so has these in the arms of babies and kids and people. Listen to it. Disease or disorders that increased since 1990. ADHD, it's up 819%. Alzheimer's, 299%. That deals with diets. Autism spectrum, listen to this, 2,094% up. Bipolar disorder in youth, it's up 10,000%. Celiac disease, stomach issues, up 1,100%. Chronic fatigue syndrome, meaning being lazy, feeling lethargic. Isn't it weird how the WEF pushed for that? 11,000%. Depression's up 280%. Diabetes is up 300%. Fibromyalgia, which means you're hurting, your ailment, nobody really knows what it is, so they call it fibro. 7,200%. Hypothyroidism, which is going to cause weight gain, 702%. Lupus, 787%. Osteoarthritis, 449%. What did we talk about yesterday with some of these things that we're putting in our body? It's starting to cause bone density problems. Bam. Sleep apnea, 430%. Asthma, 412%. Autoimmune disorder, 1,600%. Food allergies in children, because nobody saw anybody allergic to food until this time, is up 400%. Now, why did I give you all those numbers? Every one of those numbers probably wasn't seen before all this started going in our arms, huh? Think back. Ask your grandparents and great-grandparents, did they see any of those things back in their day? Now, they may have saw other things, and yes, I'm not saying that medicine's not good. There's things that medicine can absolutely do good for. But when we saw that pharma was going to bring in billions to people, and we saw that it could be a way to control, a way to secure and to protect, quote unquote protect, what we saw is we're just putting ourselves in our own little pen, our own little cage. You know, again, I'm a farmer. What did I tell you? I put my animals up, I feed them in different spots because I'm trying to control them, because I need them to get to different areas, different parts of the fields, and also when it's time to lead them to slaughter. Sadly, that's the reality. Well, what we've done with all this stuff, because of safety and security, we're giving you this. I mean, that way you're safe, you're okay. What we're doing is we're making a unhealthy, fat, lazy, sick, non-strong, boneless, remember, no bone density. Most of these are taken away from your bone density. You're making all that stuff happen to the people of America. And now the world, look at the Vietnam doctor. What are we doing? We're making weak people. What do weak people do? They cause hard times. Hard times are led by people who want power. What do we see with the 5 senators that supposedly are Republican? They want power. They want to go against the president and want power, and allow for a liberal judge to appoint someone who's going to target Trump. That's what you need to start paying attention to. What is going on? The last story I want to hit real quick, the trucking. Trucking is, looks like there's going to be an automation to the trucking industry, to where there's a driverless 18-wheeler now. 2 problems with that to me. I mean, I know that these people don't get off the road much and they don't have a lot of family life, and I hate that. But you are taking the jobs of these people who do like trucking. For every 1 car on the road, there's like a truck right beside them. You know that. And a lot of us, we dog them out and we get mad because they're slow in the fast lane, or they're passing, or they kind of rule the roads. But truthfully, that's someone bringing you your food, your goods, or at least being away from their family and sacrificing for money, of course, getting paid, but ultimately sacrificing their life on a road to bring goods to people who don't do it themselves. A dependent culture. What we've done now is we're saying, oh, we're going to automate that, make that better. We'll be safer. So now they're putting driverless trucks on the road next to you. Does that make you feel safe? You know, one thing about truckers, no matter what, they're not going to just purposely risk people's life. Well, a computer is not going to have that same emotion. So is a computer going to risk your life if it had to make a choice of which car to hit because something went wrong? Also, the loss of jobs. What are these people going to do? If 30 or 40% of the trucking industry in the next 5 to 7 years will be out of a job, what are they to do? That's the only thing they've ever known is driving. What we're getting to is this. Automation is going to cause for major problems when it comes to employment. And then we had the same conversation when we went into the industrial movement, because we went from people doing these jobs in manufacturing to literally computers and robots doing these jobs. Well, we're to a point now where it's even taken a next step with AI generation. We have to pay attention to this story. So now we just talked about the fat, lazy, slobbish people that we've made in our culture, not because it's their fault, but because of all the stuff that's been told to them by doctors RFK is exposing. And now we're saying that we're going to take their jobs too. What's next? Giving money by the government? Yep, that's UBI. What's next? Complete and utter control. It's unbelievable what world we're growing up in and what world our kids are growing up in. And we're allowing this to take place. You know what's so crazy about a lot of those things that we just discussed, all those percentages? Most of those affect children more than they affect adults. Are we wanting to see our children weak, fat, lazy, lethargic, unhealthy, sick, always needing medicine? Is that what we want for our children? Or do we want to see them thrive? We want to see them be independent. We want to see them live sustainable. We want them to thrive and be successful in life. We're not going to be successful when we're allowing this kind of stuff to go in our foods, in our arms. Pay attention, guys. It's a big deal. We thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about these stories. Am I wrong on the trucking? I mean, I know truckers would love to be home, but I don't think they want to be broke and not have a job. It's a pretty big deal. Are you wanting to drive next to driverless trucks? Do you believe what RFK said? That even though Obama probably didn't mean it, he literally started the Wuhan lab, which started the bioweapon, which started 2020. And it was all because 300 scientists told them to fire him and stop his work. And all he did was push it to another place. And this man still walks free today. One of the highest paid retiring pensions in America, Dr. Fauci. Let me know your thoughts on this, and you better call these 5 senators because it's a big deal. And what's even worse is we're allowing our campuses to go up in flames and police are not being police anymore. Man, a lot's taking place. It's time to hunker down, prepare, keep doing the things sustainable for you and your family, and keep pressing on. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.